thing that I was saying. This is part two. That's the other thing I was saying, is that every time I say something they don't like, they try to shut my internet off. I don't have broadband or Wi-Fi. I only use my phone. And every time I say something they don't like, and it's always when I'm ratting on them or I've uncovered something, they will try and shut my internet off. Which is how I know they're watching. They watch me like a hawk because they know that I'm whistleblowing on them. Because I don't know, I don't know at what point I got cut off, but if you go to my social media, you'll see me actually working out the algorithm of when they were going to try and pull it off. That they were going to kill off the sick and the vulnerable, the elderly, so that they could take all their properties and all of that. And I was spot on down to the day, because Queen Elizabeth is 100% determined to get Bill Gates and Keir Starmer and since Tony Blair, she said, for killing her, because they killed the Queen with the COVID vaccine. She, because they're going after the vulnerable and that. And the thing that, and she was like in her 90s, and the thing that worries me is because with the King's cancer, and now it's airborne, if he gets any kind of respiratory infections in that, which is what, it targets like your lungs and stuff, it could kill him because of his cancer. So his mum was warning him, through my physics, when I was working out the algorithm with the codes, because you know how the elites, they're obsessed with symbolisms. It's like it just unfolded. It just was like a flood of information that came through my physics that was 100% spot on. And then, of course, while I'm talking, they try to switch my internet off. Every single time I start whistleblowing, that's how I know I'm right. That's how I know I'm telling the truth, because they keep trying to cut my internet off. But it's too late, because I spoke to the King and put the ICC, linked the ICC on it, because this is chemical warfare. It is bioterrorism. It is 100% an act of bioterrorism. And I said they were going to do it, and like down to the day, with the veterans and all of that, because the Queen said that she's not going to stop until she holds everybody accountable for killing her and for killing all the people using COVID. And I put my life on the line. I've risked everything to take these codes to the King, because I know they're trying to get rid of the King, like with the whole Andrew thing. Every single thing I said in regards to Epstein, the grooming gangs, I figured out their plan step by step. Remove Andrew. I even pointed out why they were going to move Andrew and why they targeted Andrew. I even said about going after Sarah Ferguson and that. Like, I nailed it. My physics nailed it. Their whole plan, step by step, from America to the United Kingdom, and everything the Commonwealth leaders and that were planning to do since Tony Blair, was all designed to take down the monarchy so that they could make the United Kingdom part of the EU, and then become like a dictatorship. And then like all these Commonwealth countries like Australia and New Zealand, with the help of like Rudd and Albanese and Keating and Ardern and all of that, were all to pave the way to get rid of the King so that they could make the Commonwealth like the EU, part of the EU. And I was spot on. Everything I said was spot on. And now I've got these idiots on social media claiming to be occult physicists and talking about star seeds and aliens, which have nothing to do with occult physics. It's like saying that apples, the science of apples, is in correlation to bicycles. Like what's occult physics got to do with the esoteric and star seeds and aliens and all that? Aliens aren't even real. They're not. This old starseed Pleiadian, how they keep saying that we've got alien DNA, and that some people's alien DNA's been triggered, and you're either like, what do they call them, like Pleiadians, and I can't look, because it's a mental illness. I mean, the only thing that we share, the only alien DNA that we have in our bodies is vitamins, minerals, and gas, because we all came from, like the same, like the Big Bang. So, so I caught someone claiming that the esoteric, that he said that the world is splitting into two: people who focus on themselves and people who focus on their community, and that the people who focus on themselves are in negative frequencies, and the people who will be focusing on the wider community and healing the world are positive frequency. And it's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life, because the split of the two worlds is good versus evil, not community versus selfish. And he was trying to explain it, and these people were trying to explain it like they were talking about the negative and positive ion particles in the Earth's atmosphere, and your biorhythmic atmosphere, not understanding that positive frequencies in the ionosphere are the unhealthy ones, are the ones that aren't good for you. If you're resonating in high positive frequency, you're experiencing paranormal activity, psychosis, bad thoughts, negative actions. It's the negative frequency that rises your vibration, and the positive frequency lowers your vibration. And the higher the positive frequency, the more demented and violent and depressed and mentally unstable you become. The higher the negative frequency in the ionosphere, within like the atomic particles within the ionosphere, and your like biorhythmic parameter, the higher the negative frequency, the happier and faster you ascend. And these people were trying to say that occult physics, it's all occult physics, and it's like, oh my God. So now I'm literally the only occult physicist in the world. I used to call myself an occult scientist until I said, well, I thought to myself, well, but what I'm doing is physics, so technically it's occult physics, because I use physics to explain the occult and the difference between the paranormal and the supernatural. And these people were trying to use my physics and getting it completely wrong to explain why some people are activating alien DNA within themselves and why some people aren't. And it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's literally good versus evil. the good particles versus the evil particles. So now there's people out there running around claiming to be knowledgeable in occult physics, which is my science. Like, I literally developed occult physics from the ground up. And now there's people out there claiming to be versed in occult physics when they're not even the ones that developed the physics, and they're getting it completely wrong, and then giving people wrong information about it. Aliens have nothing to do with occult physics. Aliens aren't even real. Like, technically, they're called the Council of Elders. And they got off the planet, like they exist in a whole higher frequency that humans haven't even begun to understand how to evolve to get to that level of frequency, because they're able to access wormholes. And I hate to say it to people, but they don't use UFOs. They don't need them. They don't even need physical bodies. They're so highly evolved beings, the ones that were smart enough to stop fighting and killing each other and having wars and working together in order to get off their planets. They figured it out so long ago that their technology is so advanced, and they're so highly advanced, they don't need physical bodies. So these greys and blues and these giant 6-foot blonde-haired, whatever, blue-eyed Pleiadian nonsense, blah, blah, blahs, it's all in people's heads to try and pull off Project Bluebeam. The real ones don't need a physical body. They've they've risen above needing a physical. They're all vibrational. So they don't need to go on spaceships made out of metal and tin with bright coloured lights in there in order to communicate. They just do it through the consciousness of the atom, which is how I use my physics, is by tapping into the conscious memory that is contained within the atomic particles of the Earth's atmosphere. But these ones were trying to say that occult physics is awakening people on a spiritual level, on an esoteric level, which has nothing to do with the occult, and then it's dividing the world between people who are going to work, like focus on themselves, and people who are going to give themselves to the world. And it has nothing to do with it. And if you focus on yourself, you're sitting in negative frequency. And if you're focusing on the world, you're in positive frequency, and that's not it whatsoever. Positive frequency means evil. Negative frequency means good. Good versus evil. That's literally what it means. From an atomic perspective, the higher the density of the positive particle, the more destructive it is. And they're going around saying to people, oh yeah, and it's like, oh my God, and there's people believing it. Meanwhile, they're trying to deport me, kill me, shut me down, because what I'm actually doing, I'm taking to the ICC, I've taken it to the International Criminal Court, I've taken it to King Charles, I've taken it to the Human Rights Commission, and I've said, look, this is what they're planning to do, this is what they're doing, and I was 100% correct. So now, you don't need the vaccine. All you need to do is take zinc. Zinc will kill off any flu, including COVID. Just don't give it to children under the age of 12. If you want to give your little kids zinc, you're going to have to do it through food and nothing that has a lot of sugar in it. You're better off giving it to them through food. Otherwise, just take one zinc tablet in the morning before you have your breakfast. You got to take it with food, otherwise you'll get like nausea. But if you take a zinc tablet every morning, but just before you have your brekkie, you'll never get the flu again. You'll never get sick again. I never even got the COVID. I was around people that were getting COVID 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I never got it once. And I'm never sick. I take vitamin A and I take zinc in that every day, folic acid in that every day. I've actually just got some more zinc arriving tomorrow. I'm never sick. I can't even remember the last time I got sick. But zinc even kills the COVID. Zinc, it boosts your immune system, and it just it sweeps your It's because I'm talking so fast because I can't believe what's just happened. Immunology. It sweeps through your immunological system like a nuclear bomb, and you will never get the flu, you'll never get sick again. Nothing. So that's all you need to do. And just go to my Instagram, my YouTube, and my X, and you'll see, I've literally just had this conversation. I posted it all to the King and the ICC, and then I came on here to make the video to let people know I was 100% spot on. Keir Starmer and the NHS were planning months ago to pull off what they're now pulling off today, and I predicted it down to the day. So, yeah, so there's 2 videos, unfortunately. Immunology, your immune system. I'm having trouble pronouncing it because I'm kind of bouncing off the walls because I can't believe that I predicted what they were going to pull off down to the day months ago. I said to the King, it looks like they're going to try and pull it off in November. I said maybe somewhere about Remembrance Day, getting the soldiers outside and all that so that the flu can spread. And it's exactly like today's Remembrance Day, and then the NHS have come out today and said, oh, this strain's really bad and it's going to get the elderly and it's going to kill a lot of people. And that's why they got the tents ready, because they were anticipating it. So I've just taken my investigation, even though the ICC were watching the whole time. I've just taken my investigation back to the ICC and said, look, I told you, look, he's just pulled off an act of bioterrorism to kill off He's committed an act of genocide with the help of the NHS. And the only reason why I knew is because the Queen came to me in that dream, and when I deciphered the codes in that dream, it led me here. So she was 100% spot on, because they killed the Queen with the COVID vaccine. I showed the video of her talking about getting the vaccine and how it didn't hurt and blah, 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 and then she was dead. And then I said they wanted to kill her to make Charles king so that they could get rid of the monarchy. I said they're going to go after Andrew. I said that, and I was even talking about Sarah Ferguson and all that. Every single thing I said was 100% spot on. So I wonder if the King's going to let me earn my gold plaque on this flat. Because the physics that I've done in this flat to expose the grooming gangs, Donald Trump with the Epstein files, the plan to take down Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, and to get rid of the monarchy, to make the British Isles part of the EU and that, I was 100% spot on. Down to the day. And then I said, every time I'm right, every time I post something where I know I'm right, they shut my internet off, they shut my phone down, so I have no connection. But I figured out how to override the system, completely by accident, by the way, which is why you're now going to have two videos, because they tried to disconnect my Tinterwebs while I was talking to say, oh my God, I was right. So on my birthday, today's my birthday, on my birthday, I was 100% spot on, down to the day. And I had dreams as well where the Queen was like standing with veterans in red uniform, in wheelchairs, like they were in a street parade and all that. And I was saying to the King, like, it's got something to do with veterans, like war veterans. World War II, I keep saying, like, World War II veterans. The codes are saying something about World War II veterans. And then I was thinking, like, are they going to try and put it in the water? Are they? But then I was saying, but Pegasus, it must be coming from the air. It's got to be airborne. And because the airborne division of the United Kingdom's Air Force is called Pegasus. And I was like, they're going to try and pull it off. They're going to put something in the air. Pegasus. And there. So then when the news came up from the NHS, from the NHS saying, oh, this strain, this H3N1, and when I looked it up, bird flu. It's connected to the bird flu and swine flu. And they say, no, we're anticipating a lot of deaths. And it's like, yeah, because you planned it. The fact that you prepared those tents means you planned it, and you're trying to kill off the British people. Now, I'm not British, and I know the British turned their back on me when I got locked up, when I started coming out with my physics to defend Vladimir Putin. But I was 100% spot on. I haven't been wrong about anything. I'm just amazed that I got it down to the day, like pinpoint accurate, down to the day. So I said to the King months ago, be careful on Remembrance Day when you have these parades. And then I said, because they might be going to try and pull something off to make sure that you get this flu. And because this strain of flu is passed on really easily amongst people. And of course, they're all going to be out. They're all out today on Remembrance Day. So they're all passing it along. You've got all these poor World War II veterans in there out today. They're all now being exposed to it, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. Because then once they're all dead, they can take all their properties, BlackRock and Vanguard and that, because they're buying up all the properties of people that died from the COVID. And the NHS helped them. And so I don't know whether the military tried to help as well, but the military were really strong in those codes. However, after finding out that the King called a private meeting with all the heads of his military, and they've said there's absolutely no way that we're going to war with Russia, like we're not having it, I don't know whether the military were actively involved in trying to pull this off, or whether the military were bought in on the codes because of the fact that it was referring to it being airborne. I don't know, but if you go to my social media, you see me working out the algorithm, because I can't do maths. I have to do it through I have like maths autism, so I have to do my physics through language and talking and frequency and like codes. I read algorithms, language and writing and words and visual imagery becomes like a binary code in my brain, and then I recode it into a language that I understand, that I can interpret. And yeah, so I was spot on. And now I'm worried about the king. I hope he hasn't had the flu jab, because they're really trying to push the flu jab, and the Queen is determined to take Bill Gates down, because the Tedros and Fauci, because remember Fauci, I actually showed the ICC. Fauci was like, oh, there's another strain coming. I was like, yeah, because they've planned it, and the Queen's determined to take them down, because she's been relentless. She will not let them get away with what they did to her and what they did to the British people with COVID. And so she was coming through my algorithms, through these binary codes, through the stuff I was hearing and seeing, and that sort of thing. She was coming through so strong, and I had to risk everything to take it to the king, to say, look what they're planning to do, knowing very well the cops could turn up, they could lock me up again, they could deport me, they could do all of it. Somebody out there's had my back. God has had my back, because everything I've been saying, anybody else would have been dealt with very differently. But by the grace of God, I've been sat in my little protective bubble here, in this little flat, pumping out these physics to let the king know exactly what they were planning to do with the grooming gangs, with Epstein, with the plan to take down the monarchy. Every single thing that I said is happening exactly to a T, 100%. And Starmer's had America's help to do it, because, they want to take over the UK. Trump wants to be king of the world. They're calling him the king of the world. When he came on his state visit, I said to the king, be careful, because he wants to take your crown. And now they're saying, oh, with the monarchy gone, we can have Donald Trump being in charge of the UK and that. And I said to the king, see, I told you. So what a birthday present. I can't even believe it. I need to calm myself down, because I'm bouncing off the walls, because I can't believe I was 100% accurate down to the day and on my birthday. And I said to the king it would be around his birthday, because his birthday's in a couple of days' time. So yeah, I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of quantum magnetics. I said to the king months ago, I wonder if I'll get a blue plaque. Can I get a blue plaque on this flat? To say, like Debbie Callahan, physicist, who exposed an international plot to take down the monarchy using physics. I can't believe it. So now, I'm going to have to get food and calm myself down. So all you need to do, folks, is take zinc. That's all you need to do. You will never get sick. You'll never get the flu again. Just don't give it to children under the age of 12. You'll have to give it to them in other forms. Keep away from sugar-based things, and make sure you take it before food. Otherwise, you'll get nauseous. Take it in the morning before you have your brekkie, and then you'll be sorted. You'll never get sick again. You'll never get COVID again either, because it kills COVID dead. So there you go. So the Queen is going after Bill Gates and Keir Starmer and Fauci and all that for what they did to her and Great Britain and the people of the Commonwealth. She's determined to take down Jacinda Ardern, which will be my greatest joy if I can take her down and using quantum magnetics as a New Zealander, who I've lost my niece and my mum and my auntie and that from these flu jabs and these COVID injections and all that. So I'm holding her personally accountable for what she did to my family. And as a New Zealander, I'm gunning for her. I'm going to make sure she ends up in the same criminal courts as Fauci and Gates and all that. 100% spot on. So I'm proud of myself. I don't care what anybody says. Call me crazy, call me dumb, call me stupid, call me ignorant, call me whatever, call me black, call me white. Couldn't give a shit. I was 100% right. And if I get to save people because of it, and if I got to save my monarchy, especially because of it, if I got to save the king and Vladimir Putin and Russia and all of it because of my craziness of my physics, then so be it. I couldn't give two shits. Because all I've been saying from day one is when I leave the United Kingdom, when I get justice and win my court case and get my money and get out of here to build my school, if I can leave knowing that I saved the monarchy and the people of Great Britain, I can leave this country with my head held high. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I get to leave here with my head held high, knowing that everything they tried to say was bad about me and something to be ashamed of. It turns out that I warned the monarchy about the greatest act of political and chemical terrorism since COVID, since ever. Because when COVID came out, they didn't know that it was all planned to take down the monarchy. So I'm proud of myself. So I don't care what anybody says. Quantum magnetics rocks. And it's saving lives. And it's saved my king. The fact that he had that meeting with the military behind closed doors, and the military have basically are staging a mutiny against Starmer. They're all turning on Starmer. He's listening. Yeah. I can't believe it. I'm so proud of myself. I spoke up for my queen. I'm getting justice for her and everybody affected by COVID. It's going to drag the NHS. It's going to hold the NHS responsible, because the fact that they got those tents ready months ago means that they were in on it, that they knew they were going to help the government pull off another fake pandemic in order to kill off more people. So now heads are going to roll at the NHS. I just hope the ICC act fast, and Keir Starmer needs to be arrested. His government and the heads at the NHS and Bill Gates and Fauci and Tedros and that, they all need to be arrested and they need to be tried at The Hague. Which is what I said would happen. And my codes, I saw military trials. I saw people like Trudeau and Ardern and Starmer and a lot of military officials and people in the NHS like doctors, nurses, medical clinic directors and all that being sent off for military trials. And there'd been a mutiny. Oh my God. And some of the codes I was saying about how there was going to be a mutiny. And a mutiny is obviously like, when like the Navy and that. Oh my God, I said there was going to be a mutiny. And that's literally just happened. Like the king just called a secret meeting with all the heads of the military, and they're staging a mutiny against Keir Starmer. Oh my God, that's another one that's come true. The king, I called it the codes, the heading for it, the code name was King's Army, and it talks about a mutiny. And I was saying about how God and Satan were coming to sweep the globe of the darkness, and because in the dream they were turning the World Economic Forum sign and the World Health Organization Forum sign, they were flipping them around and leaning them up against the wall, which means like undoing them, making them come undone, not recognizing them, turning their back on the recognition that they exist. And I said they're getting ready to tear it all down because of what they did to the Queen. But the thing was, I had that dream back in 2017. The code started coming through all the way back then. And now it's all coming into land. I can't believe it. I was 100% spot on. Oh, if I got to save the monarchy, if I get to help the people of Great Britain and save the king and wake him up, and that then I can leave here just so proud of myself. I just hope that I've earned a visa to Russia, because that's where I want to be. That's where I belong. So I'm going to go now and sort myself out for my birthday. I might even let myself have like an ice cream. I don't usually have sugar, but when I have sugar, I let myself have ice cream, because that's the thing I miss with my sugar-free. Sometimes I have chocolate peanuts as well, but it's my birthday, so I think I might have ice cream. I can't believe I was right. I'm so proud of myself. That's my physics. I'm so proud of myself. So I'm going to go now. I think God saved the Queen. God saved the King. I mean, I can't even talk properly. My brain's all higgity-piggity because I was asleep and I woke up to the news, and then I started putting everything together to add it to my investigation. And so now my brain I'm bouncing off the walls. So I need to go and ground myself, because this is unbelievable. Quantum magnetics has just proven itself as a real identifiable physics that I have just used to alert the monarchy about an act of bioterrorism Starmer and the NHS and his government were going to pull off in November during Remembrance Day weekend, and I said this months ago. So, can't be a mental illness now, eh? Right, so I'm going to go. I shall speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.